Hello, people. Welcome to episode 1 of the new 24-25 season here with me and Coach bringing you the European pod for no Choftes. Coach, how we doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just get the elephant out very quickly. Yesterday was a disaster for my club, but at this point, I've been experiencing disasters for the last 2 years. So, hey, man, I'm here in new disaster, but I'm good, man. I'm in good health. How you doing?
Bro, I wasn't going to say a word as it's a
I know
European.
you weren't. I'm just pointing out there anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as it's a European pod and that, I wasn't going to say a word, my bro. I was just going to just get it cracking in regards to the pod, but as you've addressed it, so hopefully this provides a bit of therapy for you, bro.
Uh, I'm kind of over United at this point, to be honest. Honestly, I usually a loss like that would have been like, I'm so annoyed, I'm so mad. I've laughed, and I'm actually still laughing at United fans' reactions. It's because I mean, football fans are fickle, but people don't know which angle they want. No, it's Amarim, but the players are crap. But it's Amarim's fault. But wait, but tactic. But wait, no. Anyway, well, when we do if we do a Premier League talk, we'll do a Premier League talk. Not on this show, obviously, but somewhere else. But until then, yeah, man. Let's focus on what we're here to do, man. Let's focus on what we're here to do.
Oh madness! I just wish I'd made some money off of it, bro. I just wish I'd made some
Mm,
money off of it, but I was busy. I was busy, and then by the time I was able to start watching it, it was already 2-0 to Grimsby, so there's no P in that.
yeah.
you know. So so yeah, but yeah, Man United aside, let's get to the Bundesliga to start things off. Right, if you've never listened to the pod before, we go around as many European leagues as possible, time permitting, but the main three are usually La Liga, Serie A, and Bundesliga. Go through a few of the games and the major talking points, and then obviously Champions League draw coming up soon. So once we're getting into the thick of things as we go along, we'll be sprinkling other bits from the European competitions, whether it be Champions League, Europa League, or the Conference League, and everything else around the way. But with us both obviously having Premier League teams that we support, as you've just heard, Coach there with Man United, you will hear some digs, you will hear some satire, you will hear some banter and comments flying, and obviously links between that and whatever's going down in the European League. But we're going to start in the Bundesliga, not in any distinct order, but the reason why is because we've got to talk about the Bellingham family. St. Pauli, I know you enjoy this, you would still call Dortmund Fraudman, for instance.
Yeah.
It finished St. Pauli 3, Borussia Dortmund 3. Dortmund winning 1-0, right? Then Garassi missed a penalty. That was 1-0 at half time. Then Joel Bellingham was substitute at half time.
Mm,
His dad's apparently kicked off about it. Obviously, you would have thought his relationship with Dortmund overall is fine because obviously Jude's come through there already. Now his younger bro, Job's there. He's he's been taken off half time, and then Dortmund proceeded to go 3-1 ahead, but the game finished 3-3. First of all, we'll talk about the game, but then I want to know what your thoughts are. Is it trouble in paradise already in regards to Job's thing there? Or is it a case where the Benjamin family know that the power you can say they've held with in terms of they graced the club, their son has already graced the club, will do wonders for the club in terms of this modern era that we live in terms of social media, etc. And did they deserve expansive explanation into why Job was taken off? Because in the end, if it was the case they won the game, there's one thing that they can back that with. But the fact they've given up the lead, he's probably half time, and whether or not things have recurred again after the game, um, would have had an excuse to cast. But I know obviously with your we'll have to call it hatred for Dortmund, you would have been loving the result first of all.
it's not loving when it's expected. Dortmund are one of the few clubs who can go 3-1 up and I'll still sit there. Even if it's the 91st minute they scored their third, I'll sit there and say, oh, there's 2 minutes left, it's Dortmund. See what happens. That's just what they are. That's their DNA, right? If we talk about DNA in football, that's what they are. Um, it didn't surprise me. What happens is when Dortmund have their backs against the wall, in one sense, they tend to lose structure. They tend to lose understanding. They were 3-1 up, and then Philippe Main or Mane, how you say his name, got sent off. Right, penalty given, cool,
Yeah.
and then 3 minutes later, equalizer. Within that time of the red card, they lost their shape. They lost their um, positional sense, um, and they just didn't have a clue what to do. Obviously, you got to go
The,
to
the equalizer was a banger by Smith to make it 3-3. Banger.
it's a banger, but there's a lead up to the goal. There's a way to you have to try and stop that, get into that position in the first place. You can forgive bangers going in because the banger's a banger, but you gotta stop everything beforehand, and that's what Dortmund don't do. They don't. They lost. I'm saying they lost the centre back. I think naturally you go to a four at the back because you still got two centre backs. You're playing, you want to call them wing backs or wide midfielders, whatever what they're supposed to be playing for Dortmund at that time. You bring them back, let the three patrol, let the two up front, do whatever. Um, they didn't restructure themselves. They kind of lost their heads. But then that's what Dortmund do. They don't restructure. They just continue with the same nonsense. They don't think, oh no, we've lost a player. Why? It looked like they still had two at the back. There's a gaping hole in the back of the defense. Very similar to watching a Harry Maguire, Harry Fredrickson performance from against Grimsby for anyone that was there. So you know, it's for me, it's unserious. It's unserious defending. But this is what the club is now. When it comes to Joe Bellingham, so we didn't get to do a pod during the transfer window. If we did, you would have I would have brought forward the conversation I had with Cahill, um, in which I said I don't know why he's going to Dortmund. Family ties is not enough an excuse for me for you to go to that club. I'm sorry.
That's what I thought, bro. With Sunderland coming up, I thought that you'd give it at least a year um
That too,
in the Premier League.
that too, but he doesn't suit them. Like
Mhm.
it's not a match made in heaven; it's a match made in hell. It doesn't work, and to feel like it's not even validation, but to feel like I'm not losing my marbles on this. Um, what's his name? Uh, what's his name? German legend. Lothar Matthäus. Lothar Matthäus, that's his name.
Mm.
Lothar Matthäus said on their Sky Sports or whatever they call it, I think they just call it Sky on his column anyway, was saying that the changes confused him, the substitutions confused him, but also to that point, he doesn't feel like Kovac knows what to do with Bellingham. And because he doesn't know what to do with Bellingham, that presents a problem. So now Bellingham's had a poor performance. He's been kicked ticket up for half time. And I guess the annoyance of the parent is you got to find a solution for him. Now, here's my angle when it comes to the parents: be annoyed between yourselves. How dare you? I don't care what relationship you had with your previous son being there. He's gone. He's not there anymore. He didn't run the club. He was just another player. They had to move on. They told him for go my money. He's in Madrid. You come to watch your other son play football. If you get subbed, that's not your problem. Shut up. If you got an issue, deal with it within yourselves. And then when you go home, talk to him and say, hey, why were you subbed off? Whatever reason the coach gave him, he can talk to you about that. But that's as far as you go. How dare you? Who are you to go and talk to the thing like that? You don't run the club. You don't have a stake in the club. Who are you?
Yeah,
Can't do that.
they've been banned from the dressing
Good.
room. Isn't it?
Yeah, no,
No.
good. No, but that's another thing. They've been banned from the dressing room. Parents shouldn't have even been allowed access to the dressing room in the first place. I don't care. And this is another issue I have with Dortmund. This family club stuff. Shut up. What do you mean? Authority, bro. I'm right now. I'm coaching under eights. The parents stand on the other side. Are training. They stand on the other side
Yeah.
of match days. Don't get involved. If I'm substituting a kid off the pitch, I don't expect to hear you trying to come question me and argue with me. Let me coach my players.
Mm.
If we lose, I talk to the players about what we did wrong and where I can improve as well. That's what we do. And then as parents, I say thank you for your support, a little bit of feedback individually about your kid and what I think we can improve on, and then also what I could have done to help them. That's as far as it goes. So if I can do that at this age, you at the big age where there's a lot more rules, where there's a lot more, it should be a lot more stricter, where the stakes are a million times higher. You shouldn't be anywhere near near the club in that aspect. Yeah, when they have family days, unless you're in an Alexander Isak situation where the family's not invited because he doesn't want to stay there. Until then, cool. That's the only time I should see you. Or unless your son can't drive and I need to pick them up. don't come downstairs, especially during a game, to come and cause an argument. That unsettles the staff, that unsettles the players, that unsettles your player, your son, who is playing there, because it's just a nonsense. If Dortmund had gone on to win that game 3-1, Niko Kovac goes to find the parents and says, "Ha, let me do this next time." Unfortunately for him, Dortmund did a Dortmund.
Yep.
So they're gonna now make the point and say, "Well, you didn't win the game. You went 3-1 up, but you lost it. I'm
Yep.
sorry, you drew it, but you lost the 3 points. It's 1 point, which is poor. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with Job here?" But I just think Job made the wrong move in the first place anyway. And to that point as well, yeah, 1 year in the Premier League would have been good for him. But if you're gonna move, you've got to be smart about where you're going to. Forget about, oh, my brother had a great time there. So what? My brother had a great time at Cambridge University. I didn't go there. He lived there. Cambridge is lovely. You can cycle around. They got lots of lakes and stuff. I'm not moving there. Why do I move there for? It's not for me. It's for him. So what are we doing here? I don't understand. But Dortmund did a Dortmund, man. That's no surprises, man. I'm not shocked by them whatsoever. So well done, Set Paulie, for pulling it back. But new season, same results, man.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, no, it's a bad thing still. Do you think it could get as bad as he might get? They might seek for him to get a loan in January or something.
If
Or do
they
you,
can't find if they can't find a way to use him effectively by the end of October, he should be talking to the club about going for a loan move in January immediately. Go and play football elsewhere. Go and find a club that suits your system or the system that you've been coached to, which is another issue in itself. But that's another conversation for another day. That's our rant for the next half an hour to 45 minutes. Um, Go to a club where they talk to you and they make sense about their role for you,
mm,
on the pitch and within the squad, whether it's your automatic starter or if you're sort of like a rotational option, and how they see you playing on the pitch with partnering with who, midfield, and that stuff. All of that's important to your career because Job is still young, just like his brother. He's younger than Bellingham, and Drew Bellingham's not even old. You know what I mean? He's
yeah.
still very young in football. So that's where you're lucky. But I would say if by October Kovac hasn't got something for him, then you got to cut that cord quick and maybe get a loan move and then maybe make it permanent. Some moves don't help work all the time, and that's fine. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's the best I've got. I mean, he didn't start last week, did he, Bellingham? So
Mm,
that's another. That's why they're asking questions though, because you spent money on me.
mm,
You've brought me into the club, obviously to do something. I played a lot of do preseason. I had a good preseason. He did. Why am I not starting this game? But also, young players need to realize, and it's another issue with young players in football because we've had such an influx. It's not like 2000s, early 2010s where we still had so many great young players, but unless you were like the caliber of a Messi or Ronaldo or like a young McAlowen, you weren't starting games week by week. There was a due process. Joe Bellingham is not of that caliber, so if he's not starting games, it's not a disaster. But when you give young players a bit of an ego by giving them a big money move and selling them something that they really shouldn't be sold, they start throwing their toys out of the pram. He's just lucky that he's not in England. Otherwise, he wouldn't have started two Premier League games, and suddenly Mainoo's not wanted by the whole of Manchester because he didn't start two league games. Wow, despite starting so many other games in the other season. But hey, there you go. At least he left the country. So yeah, there you go.
Oh man, Eintracht Frankfurt thumped um, Werder Bremen 4-1. Ozun scored a brilliant goal to open up, and Bahoya, who arrived there in the winter last season in January, the 23-24, he helped himself to a brace. Could he be the man, this guy that could replace what's his face?
Well,
Mamouche,
Mamouche
because
and
though
Ekitike.
he was there, they were both at the club at the same time
Mm,
last season. Obviously, now going to see more playing time. Mamouche obviously went from the wing to um, up top in the
yeah.
two with Ekitike. Could he be a man that could be moved there? Early doors, yeah, obviously. First game of the Bundesliga season and that, but it's also a double nice start for them considering in regards to all that they've lost.
It could be. I mean, I kind of felt for Frankfurt because they lost Mamouche and Ekitike in the space of 6 months.
Mm,
So that's tough when you got your two main goal scorers, doing their thing. and then you take him out. I'll still say to this day, I still don't know what Man City bought Marmoush for, but you know, I honestly genuinely don't know. But obviously, Ekitike, you can see why the move was made. Obviously, he's settled in Liverpool, lovely. He's 2 goals in 2 games already, so he's doing great. But that kind of quality is hard to replace. But sometimes it's not even about the quality now. This is the this is the pro of systematic football. It was a brilliant goal. You don't score a goal like that if you don't have quality. So he has that quality, but how he fits into the team and how he fits into their system, it looks like he's perfect for it. So he could have a high output this year as well. So yeah, good start for him and good start for the team as well.
Yeah,
Dominant win.
yeah, man. And a Harry Kane hat trick as Bayern Munich swept away Leipzig 6-0.
Not gonna lie to you, bro.
Um,
Not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm just gonna make this short and sweet for you, bro. I'm not gonna lie. We don't need to analyze the best team in Germany's games, man. We're not gonna.
no, we're not gonna, it's just that you know me, I'm a big Michael Elise fan, so I was going to get there as well. And
Oh
Luis
yeah,
Diaz,
run your thing. Run your
and
thing.
all of a sudden now he's getting paid more money. Luis Diaz has more composure, but you know, I mean, I'll minimize my bitterness.
Hey, money talks, bro. Hey, we've all done it, man. We've been in jobs, so we start great, and then we're like, I need to leave this place. I need more money, man. We get a new job, more money, and we're flying again. We've all done it, man. We can't criticize that. We've all done it, bro. Come on, man. Oh man, we've all done it, man. So good, so good. Let him thrive, man. Let him thrive. You guys got to
Uh,
sell him off anywhere at some point. He went in Barcelona. You put him a notch down a little bit, so you got a little small win, and you got a lot of money for it. So it's all right, man. It's all right, man.
nah. Well, that's what they've had to beef for that one. That's why they brought in your boy Marcus, your brother. That's why they brought your brother Marcus in
Oh, Rash did he?
to, um,
Well,
uh, to,
can't call him that anymore. Gosh, woof. Yeah, can't use that name anymore. My God.
to,
Wow.
to give you another body on the left hand side. But realistically, I know it's only one game into the Bundesliga season, but we're not looking past Bayern Munich again,
Nah,
are
nah.
we?
You know my story, man. Same old man. Same old story. There's only one club I ever back. Even if they don't win it, I still back them to win it the same season. That's how much I back them. So all day. Another title coming in for Harry Kane.
What did you talking of them actually? Yesterday evening, they scraped through their cup time with a 94th minute winner from Kane to win 3-2. The team they were playing, I think, are in the fourth tier.
Yeah.
Or third, no, third tier. They're in the Bundesliga 3, and they just went, I think it was Kane header for them to win it right at the end. I don't know what it is with them in these cup games, man, because they got knocked out last season by someone who was not. I think that was another team in the third tier in Germany, and considering some of the players, Kane, Elise, the likes of them started, but I suppose they got through it in the end. Something your club would like to have done, but such is life.
Well, you know what's funny about this one? At least they went 2-0 up. You know what I mean? At least they scored the goals first. They brought it back, but they won it in the end. You know what I mean? They didn't have to do a survival job. So there you go. But it also helps when you don't have an Onana in goal. I'm not gonna like that's just another conversation for another day as well. But that they won, so they don't care. It might have been hard work, but they don't care, man. They won, man. So they're good. They're good.
Right, let's go to Serie A
Hold on,
and
hold on, hold on, hold on,
huh?
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We're not gonna let him get away with it, man.
Oh,
Walter White at Leverkusen.
oh goodness me! How could that? Do you know why as well? Because obviously, before you said that we're going to talk about Walter White, yeah, we're going to talk about Breaking Bad and that, yeah.
Mm.
Because obviously I'd watched already because Kwanzaa scored. I completely forgot. Sorry, I apologize. Before we go to Serie A, uh, Leverkusen, despite taking the lead through Jerome Kwanzaa header, gunned down, and they weren't able to get it done. Sorry.
No, no, you know what? You don't even have to apologize, man. You know
That
what
is
is?
my bad.
You know what is?
Beaten
Yeah.
two, beaten 2-1 at home by Hoffenheim despite taking the lead. Big up Kwanzaa did the just like Diaz actually did the Diogo Jota celebration. Diaz did that in the Super Cup as well that Bayern won in. But yeah, sorry, how could I forget this one? I thought because they taken the lead, I thought it was done and dusted, beaten at home by Hoffenheim. Yeah, let it rip because I know you've got a lot to say about Professor X.
It's nothing about letting it rip, bro. I just can look at the camera and just tell you guys, I told you so. I told told you about this guy. Thing is, you guys need to understand. There are some managers that will come into in and out of clubs, and I will tell you the club is the issue. And I did that with United with Mourinho. I even did it to an extent with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to an extent, because he found a lot of good players. He scouted a lot of good players for the club, with the scouting club, and they went for other targets because they didn't listen to what he was saying. If they listened to what he's saying, Erling Haaland would be wearing red instead of white, of blue right now. For example. So for him, I knew that he wasn't a great manager, but he kind of had an idea of what a great squad looks like.
What was
Eric
your?
Ten
No,
Hag.
I know. I know the football wasn't outrageously entertaining. Just to digress momentarily, but what was your issue with Mourinho then? Even though he brought the League Cup and the UEFA
My
Cup in the
my
same
issue,
Europa
my
League in
issue,
the same season.
my only issue, Mourinho came when we went to West Ham and he put McTominay as centre back to make a point. That's when I was like, "You're bugging. You're doing this on purpose. I don't like that. Stop that." Because he's my guy. I love Mourinho. When he did that to make a point, I was like, "Yeah, piss. You're taking the piss. Don't do that. Don't do that." Because I'm trying to get 3 points here. Like this is not the time to make a point. I'm begging you, please. All right. That's the only time I genuinely had a point. Even when he went on his rant about football heritage after the Sevilla game. I was like, you know what? He's not actually really lying like that right now, though, because in the last couple of years it's been a shocking at Europe for Man United. But that one, yeah, man, I'm not doing that. That one against West Ham, that one peed me off. But I didn't have an issue with that. I like winning. I like winning football. Whatever attractive football is to you, that's you guys. But for me, I just want my team to win.
Yeah,
So whatever the formation, whatever the style, whatever the system, as long as you get 3 points on the board, I'm good. Because I'm entertained by many ways of football. I was entertained when we were in the 2000s and we had teams playing direct, all the way direct with football, long ball, nod it on, battles, second ball, third ball, 2 or 3 passes maximum, bang shot. Does it go in? Does it not go in? Who knows? But I'm entertained by all brands of football, so I'm not. That's not my concern. Eric Ten Hag was the problem. I can tell you that for free. I can tell you that for free. I can notice when someone is an issue. He was the issue, not only with the football he was playing, but with the signings he was making. You can't fool me because you won an FA Cup and a League Cup. That's great. Thank you for that. But
yeah.
the signings you're making long term, we're not going to cut it. And the example, and I'm going to refer to it again, is the fact that the goalkeeper he signed, because he coached him at Ajax, made two horrendous errors against Grimsby to concede 2 goals. And then in the penalty shootout, got his hand to 5 penalties, but somehow only saved one. Now, that tells me that you're not cut for being a goalkeeper either. At this point, I don't even want to see your face anymore. But it's his signings in general, apart from Lissandro Martinez. I don't know if I can add another name to that. Because he didn't sign Ahmad. Only got a social sign Ahmad. Maybe Delict. Oh, Euro as well. Euro was there when you were saying. So that's 3 defenders. Apart from those three, the rest of them are horror shows. We're about to lose two 80 million pound players that we signed for next to nothing, really, in Sancho and Anthony. So when he went to Leverkusen, and people were like, "Yeah, he's gonna do a come up, man. This open league attacking football." I said, "Yeah, man. Watch, watch." This example one. Now, Piero Hincapié, people are like, "Oh yeah, but maybe he's had enough of like Leverkusen." No, 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 no. I know why he wants to run away. It's okay. That's the same way Xhaka. Same reason Xhaka ran away. Xhaka left a team that won the
This,
league
this is
a
what I was
year
saying.
ago.
This is what I was going to say. They've lost a few bodies though. Xhaka gone. Flipping Adley's just gone to Bournemouth, hasn't he?
Hmm.
It looks like Gapier, Arsenal, bound. I didn't think Arsenal needed another defender, but I suppose if they're letting Kirill go, but I'm not sure how all these defenders are going to be kept happy. But it is what it is. But yeah, Leverkusen losing people, so
I hear you.
it's a bit of a rebuild, which I think the board will have more patience with him. But still, you don't want to start off, especially when you take the lead as well. You don't want to start off at home with a defeat, man.
No, no, exactly. So I hear you on that, but they're gonna find out very quickly that he's a big problem. I don't think these players genuinely look to run away and leave unless there's a reason. Xavi Alonso was a big reason of them thinking, okay, maybe the time is up. That squad, you know, maybe it's done. It's okay. I can hear that one. But I've said this about Ten Hag from early. That Ajax team that did great in the Champions League, they beat Real Madrid, but then somehow bottled one of the biggest bottle jobs against
Yeah,
Tottenham.
Tottenham.
From that day, something told me there's something wrong here. It's not that he can't give the legs. He's won league titles before. He's won a cup before. So it's not. He's not a horrendous manager. He obviously knows how to win things in some capacity, maybe in some leagues. But I don't think a Premier League, a Bundesliga, a Syria, or a La Liga is for him. If you don't get what I'm saying here, he's not a top league manager,
Mm.
and I think Leverkusen are going to suffer. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I come on this podcast and say I'm sorry. But until then, I'm not changing my tune. And this performance was horrendous. The subs were bad. The yeah, just the whole setup just didn't work. And a part of me feels like the players are leaving because they're not convinced by him.
Mm.
Hincapié was very random to me. Suddenly he's unhappy. He looked very calm. There was no noise, and then
Mm.
within a second, I want to get out of here. I
Yeah.
don't want to play. Get me out of this club. What's happened there? There has to be something's happened there. It could be the club beef. So I could be wrong about Ten Hag, but I just over my experience with him in 3 years,
Mm.
there's something that he does that just irks players and it irks fans.
Yeah.
And Leverkusen could fall into that trap. So prove me wrong, please. But until then, I'm not changing my tune, man. Walter White, get out of here, man.
Right. So apologies, I was a bit premature before, but now we will go to
All right, man.
Serie A. And Napoli, the champions, picked up where they left off with a 2-0 win away at Sassuolo. Um, Scott McTominay, Ballon d'Or nominee, picked
The
up
best
where
midfielder in the world, brother.
picked up where he left off with a header to give Napoli the lead. He hit the bar a bit later on, and then Kevin De Bruyne on his debut called the free kick into the box. No one got a touch on it, and it went straight in. Um, Are they obviously I'm gonna back my Inter, but with obviously Kivu, despite doing a good job at Parma, being the manager now, not got the wealth of experience that Inzaghi has, and obviously he'll be tackling Champions League as a manager as well in Kivu. We spoke about Bayern just in the Bundesliga talk.
Yeah,
Early prediction, though obviously it will probably may change as the season goes. So what we saying about Napoli going back to back?
it's very possible. They're a good team, man. They're a very good team. It's very possible. I like how what's the word I'm looking for? Ambitious they are. They're very ambitious. They're very forward attacking, forward attacking, forward thinking, attacking team. When they make subs, it's not to sort of close the game out. They want to make another impact, even if it's so late, giving you a couple of minutes to see if you can add a little something. Unless it's a like for like change, just to sort of close out the game on that side of things. But I like the way they attack. Their structure's good. The everyone knows their responsibilities and their roles. It's kind of a reason why I actually feel like that's the best place for Rasmus Højlund to go. For example, I think he thrives in that team. I think they give him a good base, and someone to compete with Lorenzo Lucha.
The street said you're going to drive him to the airport.
Who me? Oh yeah, if you want to, I'll drive him there. Why not? Why not, man? But
Lorenzo Lucha's a decent. It's a loan first, isn't it, Lucha?
yeah,
Was it?
yeah,
But and then for loan to buy.
yeah.
They've lost Raspadori, but Lucha was putting himself about though. Didn't score. Physical. Um, you know. Um,
No, but that's what you need, and
yes.
that's the reason why I don't mind them going for Hoyland. I think that's a good move because what they're looking for is differentiation in their forward line. Hoyland is very different to Lucha in height, in physical ability, in the way he runs or makes runs, the way he battles players. They're very different, and of course, they still got Lukaku to come back as well from his long-term injury as well. So they're building a very well-assembled squad, and that's why I think they can go back to back because the way I'm looking at their team, it just makes sense to me the way they're building and going forward.
Yeah.
Um, McTominay almost played like a left-sided role today, and this is what I'm talking about why systematic football kind of annoys me because he's gone to a club where he's playing not a position. I'm not saying a position he hasn't played before. He played in midfield last season. He's still playing
Yeah.
midfield this year, but he's got a lot more of attacking license, and he's not restricted to that left side. There's a freedom. There's an expression about Napoli.
Mm.
So they go out there and they move around, they mix and match, and they make things happen. But when they're off the ball, they retain their structure and they keep, what they need to do, and they go forward. They're a really good team.
Yeah.
So I think they can go back to back. And to be fair, they would be my favorites this year. So I would predict them to win the league, and I think they'll do well in the Champions League as well. I think they'll go probably quarterfinals as a minimum as well. So yeah, good team, man. Good
So,
team.
so Conte's family gonna have a decent uh Champions League run, yeah.
I really want him to win the Champions League, bro. I don't know if he'll be with Napoli though, but I want I want him to win the Champions League. There's few managers that I really, really, really love. And you were talking to me about, like, obviously Mourinho's football.
Yeah,
Conte's football has been criticised in the past, but Conte demands. We spoke about it last season, towards the end of the season, because we were talking about, the title race and what was happening and dropping points here and all that stuff and his comments. But people always take his comments by just reading the lines and saying he's mad again. He demands excellence, just like you should. You're playing for a club. Who's that guy who went on that rant about Vivian and country, and who rants when I don't know if you've seen it. I'll share the links to you later. It's the guy who rants, and now he's got a Instagram page where every time someone makes a shocking miss, just before they're about to shoot, they pause it, and he goes on his rant for about a minute and a half, and then they play the video.
oh, I
It's
think I know who you're talking. I think I know who
Yeah,
you're talking about. Actually.
he's great. He's talking about, like, you sleep in the best hotels, you sleep with the best women, all
Yes,
that
yes,
stuff.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
When you was cussing some, oh yeah, that Mr. Chart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know you're
yeah,
talking
I
about. Don't
love
know
that guy.
his name. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, Conte he has that passion. That's the passion he has,
Mm,
and he will never hide that. He will never shy away from that. So when he
mm,
talks, he's not talking to try and unsettle people. He's not talking to upset people. He's talking because he wants that passion he has. He wants you
mm.
to have that passion as well.
Yeah,
That's the same passion a young Jose Mourinho had. That's the same passion Klopp had. That's the
yeah,
same passion Pep had. Cyrus Ferguson went on when he went on started rattling the media and saying that you know Wenger has never coached in this country before. What does he know about the Premier League? He's doing
mm,
it on purpose because he's trying to get a rise, but he also wants the players to know, I need you to go out there and do your thing.
yeah,
This is not this is not me talking for the sake of talking. I want you to feel a burning desire to succeed and win things. And if you look at that squad and you look at the players within that squad that's been assembled and the players he's added to it, they either know how to win or they have the passion to go and win. And adding someone like Kevin De Bruyne was a masterstroke. So yeah, man, I think they'll do well. So yeah, my favorites for the title, and I think, to be fair, I think they'll go far in the Champions League. If he wins the Champions League, honestly, it'll make me so happy. I think he deserves one. He deserves one, man.
um, a lot of people that I know is their favorite Italian team, but I didn't hear too much talking about them on the timeline this weekend because AC Milan were beaten at home by Cremonese on Cremonese's return to Serie A. Cremonese took the lead. Then Purvis Estupinan, obviously at Milan now, bought from Brighton, put a good crossing for Pavlovic, who's like 6'5", 6'6", isn't he? To score, make it 1-1. But then a banger,
Mm.
scissor kick, Bonazzoli on his return. Right. Scored the goal because I'm sure, did we have Bonazzoli at Inter at a stage?
I can't
But
remember.
yeah, brilliant scissor kick by him for Cremonese to steal it 2-1. So peak peak for Milan already, the opening day defeat that no one would have really been expecting.
You know what it is again, yeah? Another question to you, bro. Are you surprised?
Um, I wasn't expecting them to lose, no.
I
But
wasn't expecting them to lose, but one of the if you saw the result, you don't watch the game. I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights.
yeah,
You see the result. I didn't look at the result and think, wow, they lost to this club. I was like, AC Milan again. Are we doing this again? That's how I felt, like, personally, because this has been their MO for a couple of years now. They have this in them. So, you know, even at home, they don't make the San Siro feel like a fortress. Inter makes San Siro feel like a fortress. You know what I mean? So I can't, they added Purvis Stupinian. He didn't even have a great year last year, but a decent
no.
signing. See what he does. Luka Modric is obviously the OG, old man now, but obviously he still retains the quality, but he's old now. You shouldn't be looking at him to improve the team. He should be like a experienced body you bring in to just, help with the younger players and, play them here and there when you need the games where that experience counts. You've come back against this club who, by the way, I like because they have a name similar to one of my old favorite footballers, Marco Moronese. So, you know, that I like about them. But
Bad boy player.
bad boy player, man. But yeah, I just doesn't surprise me. I'll tell you what though. I'm looking at the lineup again, and there are three players in this squad are on this lineup anyway that I just would never like. I've never been convinced by them. I will never be convinced by them. I don't know why people are convinced by them, or if people are convinced by them. That's actually I should say it like that 'cause I don't know. I know one people are convinced by, but you know, anyway. So Christian Pulisic is the first one. Not a fan.
Ouch.
Alexis Salamakers, not a fan. And a guy who apparently was supposed to be one of the best midfielders in the game, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Now that
Yeah.
we've done podcasts for many years, bro. You've
Yeah.
you've heard my thoughts on that fella many a time. He's not him. He's just not. And I just
But the Milan players, because there was a game last season where he was substituted, right?
Mm,
And the other players were like protesting. Though obviously that's not going to stop the manager from doing it. But they love like his physicality and the box to box play, the energy. We've spoken a lot about Conte, his methods, and how when he won the league with Inter, bringing like he had Darmian there, he brought in Ashley Young, played
mhm,
Ericsson in a deep lying midfield role, etc. They love the work ethic and the relentless energy and the stamina of these Premier League guys. So they
yeah,
love in Italy like what Loftus Cheek could do box to box because it brings a different pace to the game. You get what I'm saying? But obviously, if you individually don't like them, obviously I get it. Pulisic, I feel, has gone backwards.
mhm,
I was a big fan when he was younger. Mainly of his dribbling, not necessarily of his end product. So I think Italy's probably the best league for him at the moment. And Salamakers, Milan did get a lot of stick when they got him in from Belgium initially. They loaned him last season, didn't they? If
yeah,
I'm not mistaken, was it to Roma or something like that?
yeah.
So yeah, I hear you, but yeah, Milan have got work to do. Liao injured or suspended for this one? Because I saw him in the stands.
I
I
think
didn't check on
suspended.
his
I
I
think
didn't check on
suspended.
his status though.
I think
I'm
suspended. I could be
surprised
wrong.
no one's tried to make a proper bid for him, considering how late in the window it is now. But he's one of them players on his day. Liao looks like one of the best players in Europe.
Oh, actually, no,
But
I'm wrong. Leao was injured. I'm wrong. He wasn't suspended. I think it was someone else. Yeah, you're right. He
yeah,
was injured. Um, yeah, but they need him back. But he wanted to leave ages ago, so that's another issue in itself.
mm,
Is he? Have you got the player in the right frame of mind to come and give you what you need, or is he
mm.
gonna come and mess about? Who knows? So yeah, and also by the way, Santiago Jimenez, wake up as well, man. Bro, you're representing the Latino community, bro. I'm not having Lola Advice upset, bro. Lola Advice needs to be very happy. She deserves
how,
happiness. Yeah, we're not
how
doing
dare
that.
you talk about Bailey's cousin like that?
Man,
No, I'm playing. I'm
Lola,
playing.
I
Yeah,
want
that's
my,
good.
I want Lola Advice and Stephanie Vaquer very happy. So stop doing this and behave yourself. Start scoring goals, guy. Yeah, you're representing the community, bro. Wake up, wake up.
Oh my days. Como beat Lazio 2-0 and Nico Paz showed exactly why he's been heavily linked to a couple of clubs. There's been Madrid talk. I think there was Inter talk. Tottenham definitely with the fact that with Madison's injury and obviously they've missed out on Ezra now going to Arsenal, um, being heavily linked to Nico Paz and he showed his brilliance here. Brilliant turn and assist for the opening goal and then what a free kick for the second goal. Um, you can't see him being that Como for that long, but quality from him for them to kill off Lazio side who will obviously be challenging for the European spots again.
If I'm him, I'll do one more year in Como, and then next year make that big move wherever it be. I think he was. I genuinely feel he was. I think he was very smart to reject Tottenham.
Mm,
The reason being, it's not that I don't think Tottenham will play him. Tottenham will definitely play him. He's flipping good,
yeah.
and I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to build a young core, so it's not a bad idea. But whilst Tottenham are still in a transitional period where they've got the new manager. He started well, but they're still trying to, build something until they've got that certain build where they're gonna finish top five,
Mm.
so they can get into Champions League based off if they finish fifth based off the coefficient and all of that. Then That's when I go to that club because his quality is going to be of that level.
Mm,
Madrid, whilst I understand Madrid would definitely love to bring him back, Xabi Alonso might be the right manager for him, but I don't like how long it's taken for Arda Güler to finally get a good run of games and minutes. And I don't
mm,
want him to fall in the same trap. Xabi Alonso might address that and give him the game time, but until then, just be very careful.
mm.
You're in the right place. You've got a great manager behind you. No rush, which I like. He seems to be level-headed on that sense. So
Yeah.
take your time. I would love Man United, but you don't want to go to Grimsby and lose 2-0. So they didn't even lose 2-0, but they might as well should have. So yeah, but no, good start to the season for him.
Yeah.
A goal and assist, great goal, good assist. Yeah, I think he's in the right place. So season transfer window closes. I expect to still see him in common run. Don't go anywhere else. I think stay where you are and continue to build reputation in your rep, and then make a big move. Premier League or La Liga is definitely his destination for sure.
Yeah, I hear you. Also, Juventus beat Parma 2-0. Bad news for Dusan Vlahovic because Jonathan David scored on his debut, stabbed one in. Vlahovic did actually come on and score himself, but it looks like for a cut price, he's literally like to an extent might be getting forced out of the club. Um, but I'm telling you, man, Keenan Yildiz, he supplied that first goal for Davis. Scored a couple bangers in the World Club Cup as well. He's a
Mm,
baller, man. Yildiz is a baller.
so good, so
Um,
good.
and with the way how Prem flexing their financial muscle, I'm not sure how long Juventus are going to be able to keep him.
He he
Especially,
he he smells of Man City, bro. They're waiting for Bernardo Silva. They're waiting for Bernardo Silva to kick the can, get him out of the club, and then that's his direct replacement. I'm telling you, he just smells of City, man. I can see it from a mile away. Because even the noise about Pep about, this is might be his final year before the option, and
Mm,
he's looking to leave, and then suddenly he's saying, I'm loving it here, and I might extend again. The guy doesn't know what he wants to do, but he's probably just gonna act to the women and say, I'm staying again. So he smells of them, but he's a top player, man. So
mm,
yeah, Juve will do well to keep him,
yeah,
for at least for this year anyway, and go from there. The Vlahovic situation.
yeah. Newcastle should get involved, man.
Newcastle gave off every striker at this point,
This
bro.
this guy can finish competently with both feet. Like I'm not sure what, and he used to get out of Italy anyway because they've been discriminated, calling him a gypsy and whatnot because he's Serbian and what. You see these Italian racists, bro. They don't discriminate, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can all get it, man. Was it my
Anyone
boy?
can get it.
What's my boy said? Italians are like Family Guy. When Family Guy from the 2000s, when any
when
joke ran,
every
it didn't
when
matter who
every
you are.
when
Yeah, it doesn't matter
everyone
who
was
you are.
getting in it. Halle Berry jokes about her hitting someone in the car. Like anyone could get in Family Guy, but they took no prisoners.
Exactly. That's what Italians are. They don't discriminate, which is nasty. But that's they don't discriminate on that level. They discriminate, but they don't discriminate also in terms of who gets it, which is nasty. But that's another long conversation because
Yeah,
they've got heritage in that. Um, but look, his situation has annoyed me over the years because you brought him in and it looked like you immediately tried to get him out. You paid him a stupidly high wage and you just didn't know what to do. The guy's a good player and his reputation's gone down the toilet a little bit because he's made him feel unsettled. And there's no player on this earth that feels unsettled at a club that's going to make or give 100% great performances every single time. It's just not possible.
mm,
So you can see it's affected him a lot. And the fact that they brought in Jonathan David to take his place, he's come off the bench and still scored. So he's still showing that he's got
yeah.
he's got the goals in
With
his
with
game.
10 men as well because was it Cambiasso that got sent off
It
for
was,
that
yeah,
ridiculous? You get what I'm saying? And they've
yeah.
come on, hit them on the counter, and a good finish by Vlad. What do you think Juventus will do this season? By the way,
It's another club that's so inconsistent. I'll say top four.
top four, yeah.
I'm not saying that convincingly, by the way, but I'll say top four. I think they should be aiming to minimum. It should be minimum Champions League. It should. It's not me. This is not me doing it based on their heritage. It's rather that should just be the expectation. You've
Yeah,
actually added quite well. You've got a good squad, so you
yeah,
should make things happen. But I just don't think they're better than Napoli. So I think that's why they won't challenge for a title or Inter Milan. So
yeah.
yeah,
Igor Tudor at the helm now again for his second tenure now, isn't it? Obviously, Max Allegri is at Milan now. Obviously, we just spoke about Milan. Inter clinically dispatched of Torino. Marcus Thuram again. Bonnie got a goal. Bought from Parma got a goal on his debut as well. Shambolic defending by Torino, like passing out from the back, just callous, man.
I'll say this once, and then I'm done with this game. To be quite frank, if you can't play at the back, don't do it. Such a simple solution. If you can't do, if you made the first mistake, what the hell are you trying to do again for? I don't get it. Honestly, no, your ears here. Though there's one, yeah, I live by very few football quotes, but there's one that always gets to me. I keep forgetting if it's Nigel Winterburn or Lee Dixon that said, Arsene Wenger gave an instruction from the touchline. Vieira
Yeah,
heard it and shouted at all the players and said, "No, do not listen to that. We're on the pitch. We know what's going on here. We'll continue." Because they made an error, and he was like, "No, no, continue." And they were like, "No." He was like, "Why would we do that again?"
yeah,
And he's right. If you can't do it, don't be like Southampton last year, who basically relegated themselves from match week one when they were just trying to pass off on the back with
yeah,
goalkeepers that couldn't do it and defenders that couldn't do it. If it's not in your system, lob the ball forward and try and win the second and third balls.
yeah.
Stop this thing of I need to pass out from the back. Football is just going down. No, it's not even going. It's gone down this very dangerous path of teams forcing themselves to play a brand of
Yeah.
football that they just can't. You sign players and you expect them to play a brand of football that they're just not capable of doing.
They want to
It's
be
just
they
weird.
want to be dilute peps, bro. They want to be peps.
Yeah,
Like even I don't know. Obviously, in terms of basketball, because I know that you watch a bit of basketball. Mark Jackson, who obviously was in charge
mm,
of Golden State before Steve Kerr was there, said that in jest that Steph Curry had spoiled the game of basketball because people see his wizardry from behind the arc. All these everyone and their mum shoots freestyle because their coaches are telling them to. So you'll get in periods in games where there's barely any points for
yeah.
5 games. You go look at these college kids, you go look at these high school kids, elementary as well. They're all just trying to jack up freestyle, bro. The mid range, like the art of the mid range, was slowly dying. A couple players are trying to bring it back and that. And these people are trying to be pet play out from the back, and some players just don't have the ability. I don't know if you remember when Brendan Rodgers was in charge of Liverpool in that 13 to 14 season when we were going for the title, we dropped points against West Brom, and it was a mistake by Colo Torre,
Mm.
and they were getting on about like, oh, um, would it? Oh, actually, no. Actually, it might have been the season after challenging for the league. It might have been 14 to 15, but we dropped points against thing anyway, West Brom, and he said, "No, I'm not gonna." I encouraged them to play it out from the back, so I'm not going to get onto him about that. Now, behind closed doors, he might have been something different, but knowing the way Brendan Rodgers operates, I don't think he would have been. I don't think it would have been a hairdryer treatment or anything like that. So as you said, what Vieira did, some people have said that they might be reprimanded for it, but sometimes you've got to be well out on the pitch. This is what's going on. We can gauge in regards to what's going on. That's diabolical. I watched Arsenal beat Leeds 5-0. Leeds were doing the same thing. They were trying to play out from the back, and Arsenal were pressing them. They weren't even getting out of their own half.
Why are you doing it? If that's why are you doing it? It's not for you. And this is my issue with football now, and it's spread across the leagues. And that's why I think it was 2 seasons ago when I came on the Footy Factory, and I said to D Man, when I say I'm blaming Pep for ruining football, I'm not blaming Pep as in, oh Pep, why did you do this? It's Pep has something that works for him. He's found him. He's found he buys players for a system.
Yeah,
He's found a way that it works for him, and obviously he's got the luxury of playing, managing the top clubs, so he's got a nice financial backing behind that as well. So if a player doesn't work out, he can replace that player. You guys don't have that, so stop copying something that you can't do. Because the managers that have stopped Pep, and I say this in terms of title races, in La Liga it was Mourinho, in England it was Klopp.
mm,
Um, was he there when Leicester won? No, he wasn't there when Leicester won the league. So no, it was Klopp.
mm.
Um, and in Germany, no, he won the league back to back. But in Germany, when he's in Bayern, he didn't win the Champions League because he lost to Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Yeah, he got knocked out all by Spanish teams, didn't he? One of them
Exactly.
was a
Yeah.
penalty. I think Real Madrid one was penalties, wasn't it? Lost to
One was
Real.
one was
Atleti.
penalties, and one was an absolute battering when Madrid beat them like 4-5-1 at the Bernabeu. It was two
But remember
seasons.
as well, Madrid beat them because I remember Bale and that doing a Madders beat Bayern. It was just Bayern passed them off the pitch, but Madrid came with the outrageous counter attacks. Remember
But
that one?
that's yeah, but that's the
And
but that's no, but thank you. That's the point I'm making.
that's sorry,
Thank
but
you.
that's the point you're making. The
Yeah,
different styles, able to combat them. Mourinho mix it up tactically, Klopp with the heavy metal football and all that. That's what you're getting to.
yeah,
So obviously,
come
I've
on.
just said your point basically. Is
Yeah,
what
no,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
exactly. And that's what I'm happy you said that. I'm happy you said that because that game was in my head that's now. So I'm happy you said that. That's the whole point. The teams that have gone against Pep and beaten Pep, even Amarim's having a great, no, a horrible time at United right now. But that
Mm,
game against Sporting in the Champions League last year, before obviously he left when they beat City. See, he controlled the game. See, he
mm,
had chances, but they were destroyed in the counter attack because he
yeah,
wasn't going toe to toe with them. He can't.
yeah,
He can't. That's when he couldn't. So why would he? You know what I mean? When we beat them 2-1 at the Etihad, when Ahmad scored, we didn't try and go to we tried to pass a little bit, but we weren't
yeah.
trying to do free flowing football.
Yeah,
It
you
was
sat
very
off. Yeah,
measured.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
very
yeah.
structured.
And
We sat
waiting for
off.
chance. Mm,
And then we played a long ball, and then we got the goal and we won.
yeah.
Like you have to be my issue with football is this. If you can't play a brand of football, there's no shame in playing another brand of football. Now
Mm.
we're hearing and it's usually England as well. Oh, free at the back is horrible. But other clubs are playing free at the back and they're being successful. Inter Milan have got to Champions League finals by playing free at the back. Yeah, I mean, and won titles by when you're playing three at the back. Antonio Conte, who played four at the back at Chelsea, got absolutely hammered by Arsenal and said, you know what, this this doesn't work. And you can say it's nine
Fixed
nine
it
years
up.
ago,
And then they went how many games unbeaten after that, bro? Like,
exactly,
was it like
30,
17 or 18? And then it was
something like
Tottenham
that.
that beat them, wasn't it? Yeah. And
Yeah,
even Tottenham, again, as you're saying, in terms of the tactics, they had Ali basically playing further forward than Kane did, and he wandered into the box to get his 2 goals. So if you adapt to each match, that,
that's it.
you get me?
That's it. That's what you got to do, man. But anyway, yeah, that's teams like Torino are going to suffer this year because that's what they do. And if you can go to Inter Milan and go toe to 10 with them, be my guest. That's
Mm.
what happens. That's what happens. But yeah, there you go.
Right. So the Liga to wrap it up because uh we're both a bit we could do this all day long.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, we'll go to the Liga. Barca came from behind to beat Levante. Um they were 2-0. Did it go 1-1? They were 2-0 down, weren't they?
2-0
They were
down, yeah.
2-0 down.
2-0
I know
halftime.
the Levante's opening goal was a banger. Then Pedri scored a rocket for 2-1. Poor marking by Levante on a corner, and then Ferran Torres made it 2-2. And then they won it. It was actually a goal that won it. Yamal cut off the right, crossed it in, and I thought Barca player had got the header in, but then it was knocked in for an own goal. Um, so they've started the season, Barca, because they won away at Mallorca as well. Game. I'm not sure why they've actually started with a couple of away games, but picking up where they left off, really.
Yeah,
Rashford
yeah,
came off the bench. Um, yeah, what you expect, you're going to expect. It's whether you can get at them defensively or not, because the football is always going to be free flowing, and they're going to always have numerous different scorers. It's interesting. One of their La Masia graduates, Fermi Lopez, is being linked to a move to Chelsea. I'm not sure how many players Chelsea want right about now. I think he'll end up staying at Barca, but with Chelsea getting Nkunku out the door, they're going to have no problem continuing to spend, and they've got money anyway because they've made a lot of sales. Chukwemeka's gone to Dortmund, forgot to mention
yeah,
earlier
yeah.
when talking about their thing there. So again, actually, that actually aligns with what we were talking about earlier with Joe Bellingham. That's another central midfielder coming. It could be awkward.
Yeah, I don't want to rant about Joe Bellingham again. Um, not Chelsea, because I've ran about Chelsea for the whole summer. 'Cause I don't really know what they're up to with that signing, but who knows? No, Levante, I felt sorry for them. I felt sorry for them. What Barca realized was because people were talking about agendas. Rashford came off at halftime and they came back straight into the game. What they realized was they were getting absolutely not outnumbered in the defense to midfield position of Levante. Five at the back, four in midfield. So they completely just encompassed them in that area and they couldn't move. There was no freedom, there was no movement in that first half. So it restricted Rashford big time. In fact, it restricted if Rafinha, Yamal, Ferran Torres. It restricted all four of them. But
Mm,
if you're going to take one of the four off, it would have to be Rashford because he hasn't had the last year or two that
mm,
Ferran Torres, Rafinha, Yamal have had. So they brought on Gavi, they brought on Danny Olmo, more passing type midfielders to work around that Levante set up, and it worked for them. They got back into the game. But I felt sorry for the centre back. I know his name is Unai. It begins with an E. His last name. I'm not going to butcher it. So I'm just going to call him Unai for now. It's probably not even that hard to say. I'll find out after. I'll say it later on. But actually, no, it's Elge Zabal. Oh, that's not hard. Yeah. Maybe I said it wrong, but who knows? But they just found a way to go and win the game. They changed it up a little bit, not so much how they play, but just bringing on more central type kind of midfielders just to
yeah,
help gain a bit more control. And after that, there was plain sailing for them in terms of controlling possession and getting through the back line. Got their two goals very quickly, Torres and Pedri. But the own goal was very unlucky. I felt sorry for him. He had a great game, actually. I
yeah.
said that back. He had a really good game, so that was very unlucky for him. But Barca continue, man. Yeah, that's what happens when you have quality to come off the bench. You find a way to win, so they did well.
At the moment, obviously, it's the early season predictions because we would have done it last week, but because of a last minute thing, we couldn't record last week. But again, I, I'm thinking back to back, bro. I'll in a second when we talk about Madrid, I'm gonna get to the reasons why I'm not sure. But
Mm,
Villarreal slapped Girona 5-0,
mm,
and to Jean Buchanan, the Canadian, who look, he didn't play that much for Inter, so I have to say, in the words of Shaquille O'Neal, sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. He slapped in a brilliant hat trick.
yeah,
Like the first goal, bro, the way that he cut in and just smashed it into the roof of the goal. The third one, which was Villarreal's fifth, the keeper should have done better. Though it was a powerful strike, you got to do better. He literally, like, his attempt was like that. You got to be looking to try and push that. I know it came at him quickly, but it didn't look like he was unsighted as such. But it's what it is. But yeah, Buchanan, boy, this could be a breakout season for him. It could be an excellent piece of business by Villarreal.
yeah. I'll be honest. I wasn't sure about his signing just because I'm not really a big fan of his. But
Mm,
yeah, no, he balled out. He balled out really well. He looks really good.
mm,
Yeah, 3 goals. Yeah, he said it, man. I think he said it perfectly. I don't think there's anything to add on to that. He was really good. So, um, I think what he needs to look at here is maybe it's a bit more responsibility because from what I've heard, don't this is alleged. Don't quote me on it. I think yeah, I can't bloody hell, I can't speak English. Jeremy Pino is going
To
to
Palace.
Palace.
And they lost Alex Baena, has gone to Atletico Madrid. Atleti drew
Exactly.
1-1 with Elche. So Villarreal
Yeah.
must be blessed. So your brethren, Nicolas Pepe, um, uh,
Trump FC. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, we're both
Yeah.
fans of it. We're both fans of his other half. Anyway, so Nicolas Pepe is going to be that lead guy in terms of the wingers right now. But if Buchanan can do his thing, but yeah, Villarreal, Pino to Palace, that is an excellent bit of business. That's almost done. Like, I'm a fan, but losing
Yeah.
Bayer as well. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting. So we're going to be keeping tabs on what's going on um, with Villarreal. Um, Atleti has drew 1-1 with Elche. Solo gave them the lead and they were pinned back. But the last game we're going to review on the pod is Oviedo nil, Real Madrid 3. Now, Real won. Trent Alexander-Arnold is getting it from the Spanish press as we expected, right? Carvajal started. Trent came off the bench in this game. But the first game, they won 1-0 against Osasuna last week thanks to an Mbappe penalty, and
Yeah.
he didn't cover himself in glory in that
Yeah.
game either, Trent. So again, it's going to be another two-part question from you. If he does get benched by Carvajal, now reports will be way wide of the mark. People like Indicalia, who has been getting his props recently, what nationwide is saying that he's talking of him going back to Liverpool on loan, which I think is garbage. Um, but I don't know. Even though they won this game 3-0, coach, There's something about Madrid that's telling me I don't want Xabi Alonso to fall into that Amarim box of not wanting to adapt tactics. He has used four, whether it be previous or whatever, but um so obviously in terms of where Caval played in this one, but he would prefer, it would seem, to go with the three, which with the players at Madrid and their skill sets might not be the best thing for them to do. Would it be a case where this will be a learning for him with Madrid, and they might be holding the second place at best. And then it's next season that they're going to come to the four. So it will mean it will be another year with a bag of goals from Mbappe. I mean, his first goal in this game, the touch and then the finish was brilliant. And then even a super counter by Madrid for their third goal as what was scored by Vinicius. But I don't know what it is. There's just something there. It's early doors, isn't it? I mean, he's only had a couple of league games and the World Club Cup. But I just don't know about Madrid, maybe because I'm so used to Ancelotti ball, and even when they're being smothered by another team, I know they're going to come with a bit of magic. This seems to be a bit more slow and methodical. It might not wow the fans as much, but I can see them getting cooked again when they play Barcelona El Clasico at the moment, but it is still early. But that's what we're here. We're reactionary. We're going to give our thoughts after every game week. You get me?
So Trent, you said Trent.
Yeah, Trent
I'll,
first. Yeah,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll give
As
my
well
name.
as the match.
Trent, I think Trent's gonna be fine. The thing is, he's got to get used to that kind of thing. He's lucky that in Spain, even though he will have, unfortunately, I have to say it's going to happen. I'm sorry, Trent. It might not happen on a big scale, it might happen on a small scale, but it's going to have racial issues there. But they tend to only talk about your football, really and truly. So if they get onto your case, it's because you didn't perform well enough. You came, well, your club got 10 million in the end, but it was technically a free transfer. They paid it because they wanted to play a couple of cups. You got a little bit of an extra fee on top, right? Um, he just needs to take that as constructive criticism and just keep trying to improve. It's going to take some time for Madrid fans to get used to him because the right backs they have are lung busting down the wing. They are or they're very strong defensively type as well. Cover how strong defensively. He's a bit of a troublemaker, but he's not. He's a tough tackler. Michel Salgado was cut of that same cloth as well. So
Yeah,
that's what they like. That's what they used to. Whereas Trent being a more of a pure passer
yeah. I
type of
thought it's more of
player.
a footballer at that place, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
me
His,
rather
his
than
his defensive his defensive awareness isn't the best. He's not a horror show like he used to be. He improved over the years, but he's not gonna be like them in that aspect. And he's not a leader
I
like
don't
a
even think it's
Carvajal is.
always just defensive awareness, though, Coach. I think just sometimes it's effort rather than awareness.
Oh,
It's effort. Like certain times he'll see what the dangers and whatnot, but he's jogging, whereas some other defenders are like ferocious and because of the fact that he's not as fast as some other centre as some other fullbacks, just need sometimes for him to be that bit, you know.
well, if that's what it is for them at the club where they're saying you're not putting the effort in, that'll be addressed by the club and the fans, and he'll learn. He'll have to learn. That's what they do in Madrid. You know what I mean? The greatest players there also held their criticisms. Raúl, Ronaldo, Bale had a great time there. Look at the goals he scored in the Champions League. He still was getting criticism
Yeah,
left, right,
yeah,
and center.
heavily, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you got to go through it. This is just what it is. You know what I mean? That's when you go to Madrid, it comes with the territory. So if this is the move that you wanted, you gotta find a way to get through it. At least battle through it. If they sell you, then at least walk away saying, "I did my best here." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I gave it my all, because then that's how you get respect. So that's the best I can say. But I think he'll be fine. I think it's a gradual process. I generally actually don't believe he's going to remain a right back for them. I think he's going to go more into midfield in the future. But that's another discussion. In terms of the game, I see what you're saying with Madrid, but Madrid have never played a Xabi Alonso style of football before,
Yeah.
so it might take some time for the fans to get used to it. But again, fans are fickle. If they win games, they might complain about the brand. Maybe it's a bit slow, this, that, and the other. But if they win games, they win a title, they win the Champions League, they'll be telling us about number, I think it'll be 16, and they'll be telling us about league title. So I think that'll be fine. What I did like is his lineup. He is not afraid to put the hammer down. Vinicius getting dropped was big,
Yeah, yeah, but
very
this
big,
is yeah, exactly. And
very big.
Rodrigo started okay and then kind of fizzled out. But I touching on what you said earlier about the fact that Arda Güler, it's taken this long, obviously now change the manager to be more incorporated, and he's but Mastuono, Mastuono, or however you pronounce it,
Yeah,
they're
Franco,
now as
Franco,
well.
Franco, Franco.
But yeah, we'll just call him Franco,
Yeah,
innit? He's doing he came off the bench against Osasuna doing his thing or whatever. But the thing is that I'm not saying they're not going to be entertaining, because if there's one thing that Leverkusen was with Alonso in charge with these last minute winners and whatnot, and the way they could switch up and change their pace. But I'm just saying, in terms of his mix with the players right now, until he's brought in one or two that maybe would be his preference, but we'll see how it works. But I look, in 6 weeks I could be changing exactly what I'm going to say. But at the moment, I just think like Barca, only their defense can stop them from doing a madness this season, and they'll be looking to defo avenge what happened to them in the Champions League as well, because many thought that they were going to reach the final and just being edged out by Inter. But
well, Barca,
interesting.
Barca have the continuity. You look at the team that Madrid put out. Alvaro Fernandez Carrera is a new player.
Yeah,
Hoyson is a new player. Franco is a new player.
yeah,
Arda is not new, but he hasn't started enough for me to call him a certified player in that system.
yeah, yeah,
Um, Obviously, and then obviously Trent came off the bench, so he's getting used to it. So there's so many new additions, whereas
yeah,
Barca, they've got like just a nice level of continuity within that team, so they can continue
yeah,
to play no problem. So I think that that's fair. I just think if they can click, this is a very good win. This was a very convincing win for me personally, from how I watched the game. If they can start to continue down that path and actually solidify themselves as, this is what the starting 11 is, with maybe one or two swapping here and there, and then going from there. I like the midfield of Tchouameni and Valverde. I think that's a really good midfield. If
mm,
they have that, then I think they're very much next to Barcelona in the title race. How the Clasico goes is another question, but
yeah.
you know, Clasico is only 2 games in the league anyway, unless they get drawn elsewhere. It's
Mm,
2 games. You gotta win the rest. And Barca last season at times almost lost it because they were dropping points silly. We're talking about who it was literally who wants to stay on top this week. Is it you? Is it you? Is it me?
yeah,
Is it
yeah.
him?
That November to December period, they were
Shocking.
shocking, bruv.
Yeah. So, I think that's just the case. But Madrid is a good start. 1-0 was a bit shaky last week, but they got back into a groove this week, 3-0.
Yeah,
So we'll see how they go next weekend.
that that
And how
also
they
suit
or
that
this
also,
coming weekend.
yeah.
And yeah.
That Osasuna game was horrible to watch, bro. But yeah,
Oh,
them,
horrendous.
this was much more convincing, as you said. And as you said, he's gonna make the changes. But if anything, with the squad that they have, he can keep one or two fresh anyway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do you think, to wrap things up, do you think Rodrigo will still be there? Because he didn't even touch the pitch in that won the winner for Osasuna, but obviously played here against Oviedo. Do you think he will still be there come the end of the transfer window?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think the only club that genuinely has the money to buy him if they wanted to, and I don't see that they ever want to, is Liverpool. That's the only club, because you guys bid for Isaac. Obviously, they got rebuffed, so you offered them a
Yeah,
lot of money for him. So Arsenal is all depending on sales, and even in that case, they've gone to now go and sign that's an Hincapié to
yeah,
go as a spare left back or centre back. I don't know what the deal is in that one, but they want to sign him, so they can't get him.
yeah,
Chelsea, they are making money, but it looks like they're dead set on trying to get Garnacho and maybe Fermin Lopez. So we'll see what that is about as well. Um, City, I just don't think City add more to their squad now. I think they're sort of done in the window. So apart from Donnarumma, if that gets done, so
mm,
that's another one. Yeah, I think you're the only serial. He won't go to Tottenham. Forget about that. He won't go to United. Forget about that.
mm,
I don't think he'll go to Newcastle for either. Forget about that.
yeah,
So yeah, I think Liverpool, but I don't see anything of Liverpool having any interest in him. I knew he was linked to View before, but nothing
yeah,
serious came out of it. So that let me know that he was maybe just like a name on a shortlist. He
mm,
wasn't a real contender. Isaac is who you wanted. So unless you just suddenly just go down that path and say, you know what, we can't get him, we'll get him instead. He's a Madrid player this season. I think he's happy at Madrid anyway. So
yeah.
yeah, he'll stay there.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Right, so yeah, time permitting, we'll I had some stuff I was going to touch on in Liga One, but we'll leave that until the next episode when we float through the league. So we'll leave that there today because we've been into more depth on some of the, a couple of the matches than I thought. So yeah, anything you want to promote, Coach, before we sign up?
Uh, what am I doing? So style of play is what I'm usually on. I think tomorrow's Friday. Oh no, I can't do a podcast tomorrow. I've got the nephews over. Bloody hell, man. Summer holidays need to finish. I love those boys, by the way, but get to school. Get to school, man. I love those boys, but get to school, man. Give me my freedom back. That's the same for my kids as well. Get to school, man. I love you guys. Like, get out of my house, man. Um, God. Style of play. I'll probably say if I'm not on this week, I'll be back for next week for sure. And actually, you know what? I've started a TikTok called Chop with Kojo. I just changed the free midfield one to Chop with Kojo. I done my first food review. It's alright. You just learn on the job as you try along and then you try and get your content better. So Chop with Kojo on TikTok. I'm just gonna do some food content. I'll add some football stuff in there as well. It's not gonna be just food. Football's it's my love. So I'll add football there as well. But yeah, man, yeah, follow that as well if you get a chance.
So that's just a free midfield TikTok. What is going on with free midfield?
Free midfield is going to be, like I said, the only interviews from now on. So I've got a couple of people I've contacted, and I'm aiming specifically for coaches, of all levels. So that will be where it goes on. So the free midfield is not dead. It's just going to be very sporadic. It's going to be a podcast here, a podcast there, and it's only going to be an interview unless I feel I need to rant about something football specific, maybe like a topic rather than analyzing games. I'll go down that path as well, but I'm not going to no more weekly reviews, no more no nothing like that. It's going to be solely interviews or very topic based. Where it's a heavy topic, and if style of play is not available, I get on my free midfield and I just attack it, and then we go from there. So that's what it is from now on. So yeah, unless something changes from there, free midfield's still there for now, but we're giving it a break for now. Right now, it's just interviews, and when that time comes, I'll post the links. And yeah, man, and I think this guy literally just broke my fence. I'm gonna have to go into the garden and have a fight. So
Goodness me, goodness me. Right,
God,
in terms of me, because Coach might be snuffing someone in a couple of minutes. I've got something cooking, but it's not ready yet. It's marinating. But so in terms of what you can access now, and Coach will be a big part of what I'm cooking actually. But yeah, I'll let you know for the future weeks. Where you can definitely get me now that is already active. I'm part of the D&D Football Factory, which obviously if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see anyway. That's at DD Footy Factory on Twitter and Instagram, and we go live. And we're on TikTok everywhere. D&D Footy Factory on TikTok. We're everywhere on all the socials, bar Snapchat. But we go live on Top FM. That's 95.5 FM in London on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. until midday with the Footy on Top show. That's me, D-Man, and Big Sam. So yeah, that's where you can find us at the moment. But yeah, there's some other stuff brewing, but I will update you when necessary. So yeah, that's it for me and Coach this week with the first episode of the 25-26 season. First European pod, meet the Bellinghams. We are out. Thank you very much for listening, people here. Keep it locked and watch as much content as you can here on No Chosters. We're